Hello, folks. This is Dr. Chase Cunningham here, Dr. Zero Trust, I think. I'm going to give you the things you need to know this week in cybersecurity, and I'm reporting for Cybersecurity HQ. So let's get moving. Maybe there's not 10 of them, but I promise you, this is stuff that you really need to know. So, most importantly, number one, stop ransomware, AvosLocker ransomware update. If you go to CISA's website, you can look this up. Now, here's the thing to take away. You could read through the whole thing, a lot of really interesting technical details, et cetera, et cetera. But guess what? The biggest thing, if you want to stop ransomware for this particular version, RDP, port 3389 or 3889, or yeah, it should be, well, it should be, yeah. RDP is really what you need to take care of. So go and take care of that. If it's open, if it's available, if it's exposed to the internet, take care of RDP. Matter of fact, just for the hell of it, I'm going to go on Shown right now and look up RDP stuff because it's always amazing to me how bad this is. Yeah, just looking across the United States alone, 1.16 million RDP sessions, configs, misconfigs, etc. Does that mean all of those are easy pop? No, but it's a lot. So do the math, take care of RDP. I think I dorked up the port, but hey, I got a lot of stuff going on, and it's been a while since I've done my basic port thing. Anyway, everybody sucks a little bit here and there. The EPA has rescinded a rule to include cybersecurity in water system audits after a legal challenge. This is from the administration. The Biden administration said it will continue efforts to reduce cyber risk in critical infrastructure sectors. However, the Eighth Circuit of U.S. Appeals in July stayed the memorandum that basically said that 3 states had challenged the rule for the government to impose these rules on their water systems: Missouri, Arkansas, and Iowa. The EPA has said states should still review cybersecurity practices for public water systems on a voluntary basis under sanitary survey, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the thing: is your water, is your drinking water a critical infrastructure system? I would say so. I'm on a well. I'm not too worried about it. But the rest of you city folk that live in cities, you should definitely be worried about this. We need critical infrastructure protection for drinking water. It's not hard to go after those systems. And if you can dump enough chlorine or treatment chemicals into a water treatment system, it's bad for everybody downstream. So think about that. There is also an interesting article. This is in Cybersecurity Dive. Microsoft tops CISA's list of exploited CVEs used in ransomware attacks. Now, why is that of value to you? Well, what you're always looking for when you're thinking about vulnerability management and ransomware and exploitation, it's not the number of potentially vulnerable software applications that are out there. There's lots of them. It's the weaponized things that the bad guys are using to go after infrastructure. Look at this report. It's on Cybersecurity Dive, I believe is the name of the publication. Yeah, cybersecuritydive.com. And go read. Matt Capco wrote it. It basically talks about the number, and Microsoft tops the list of vendors with known CVEs used in ransomware attacks to the tune of 78 to 9. So is that to be expected because Microsoft's a huge company with lots and lots of software? Absolutely. But there you have it. If you're looking for weaponized CVEs, that's pretty important. Go check that out. There's also an interesting article. U.S. data compromises hit an all-time high. Supply chains and zero-day exploits such as widespread attacks against MoveIt file transfer service, which everyone remembers, are surging. This is thanks to the Identity Theft Resource Center. Yeah, more than 2,100 organizations filed data breach notices through the first 9 months of 2023. Woo! Beating the previous record of 1862. Supply chain attacks are on the upswing, and thus they're having a far-reaching consequence. The majority of compromises, 3 and 5, are the result of attacks against 87 organizations. Many of those downstream victim organizations were compromised by attacks following the MoveIt initial breach. So really, is it that there's crazy more attacks? Not necessarily, but it is that there's more attacks that are going on systems and software that moves between networks that causes follow-on compromises. So what does this mean? This means ZT. This means localization, segmentation, isolation, etc., and limiting the ability for those attacks to spread. Compromise is a given. Breach is a given. It's how bad can it get and how far downstream does it go, especially when you're talking about file sharing software. You've seen this repeatedly. So here's your proof. Not really rocket science. And then article in Federal News Network, why disaffected employees are your greatest cybersecurity risk. This is interesting. This comes from some back and forth conversation about folks looking around how to secure infrastructure from insiders, social engineering. This is actually an interview with Max Shire, who's the CISO at Optiv, phishing, et cetera, et cetera. This is really interesting stuff. There's a really long transcription here, so go check this out. But the real takeaway is that if you're looking for insider threat, insider risk, you need to know who your people are. You need to have anomaly detection, and you should look for when people do things that don't make sense. In the realm of insider threat, you don't need 100% this organization or this individual is compromising my system to act. If it looks like it's happening, at least go investigate it, lock down those resources, et cetera. And a lot of times, the people that are insiders, malicious insiders, they're not malicious insiders. They're people that got hit and then they're in your network as authenticated users. And that's what's causing the compromise and the spillage and whatever else. It's a rare thing to have an individual who has truly malicious, malevolent intent, plus planning, plus all the other things that go on to do real insider work. Um, you're talking about the Snowdens and those types of people. Majority of what you would call insider threat is going to be somebody that's probably done something dumb or doesn't know it and is moving around a network based on compromise that they already currently have. So that's something to know. Think about that. But this is where behavioral analytics and all those things come in. It's okay if you're an employer and you're issuing people hardware, software, paying their bills, etc., to monitor what's going on in your network. Don't be draconian about it. Don't impose on people's free will and all those other things, but you are validated in your need to secure that infrastructure and look at what's going on. If you don't look, how will you know? And then lastly, you can't do this type of stuff at scale when it's just one-to-one. You need software, you need help, you need solutions, analytics, all those things. Go get them. They're available. The problems that we need to solve in this market are solvable right now with the solutions that are available. Period, point blank, end of story. Anyway, that's not 10 things, but that's things that you really need to know. And yes, I did dork up my RDP port stuff somewhere. There's a person that trained me on that that's sending me some hate mail. It is what it is. But anyway, as always, stay smart, stay safe, stay secure. I'm Dr. Chase Cunningham, Dr. Zero Trust, reporting for Cybersecurity HQ.